Hey, guess what? We're going on a field trip today. We're going to go to LACMA, LA County Museum of Art. We're going to go to LACMA. We're going to look at the Lucretia painting because I've suddenly developed a fascination for the Lucretia paintings of many different artists. But they have, I think there's one at LACMA. There's another one at the Getty Center. So we're going to get that as well. But, so come with me. On the way to see is called The Death of Lucretia, circa 1736 to 1737, and it's painted by Ludovico Mazzanti. And I've been looking at this painting online before I came in. Actually, the first time I went to the Geffen Galleries, I saw the painting and immediately kind of knew what the storyline was. And it was very interesting to discover that there were multiple paintings about this person, this Lucretia, this person that happened in history, and her story is pretty tragic. Where she is in basically pre-Rome, like as we know it, like there's a kingdom that exists with a monarchy, and they do some very horrible things to her, and the result is that she unalives herself, and then from there, the folks around her kind of she's a noblewoman, so the folks around her are aware of what happened. They're aware of how horrible the, king and his son are, and they oust them and form a republic. And it's one of those stories of heroic sacrifice. In this case, Mazzanti is telling the story, and I kind of don't agree with the setting. I think that, he comes from a background of decorative painting or decorative arts where you're painting for like the interior of somebody's like living room or something like that. So there's a lot of drapery, there's a bedroom, there's a lot of sexuality in the painting, but in the way the story is told, this would have happened in like a council room or meeting room, and a lot of the paintings about Lucretia happen in the bedroom, or there are a few that happen like in a council room or around people who are garbed in armor, things like that. But I always think about the not just the storytelling or the it's like there's a way that you're telling the painting as the person who you are right now, and then there's the ancient story that would have happened way back when, right? So way back when, they don't have this kind of drapery bed situation. They're in Rome. So think about those movies that are set in Rome, where they are definitely surrounded by luxury, but the luxury in the setting is a lot different, right? So the thing that I like about this painting is the storytelling, and it is the kind of this painting is monumentally sized. I'm going to try and find the size, but the painting is, I think I have a video where you can see that it's literally taller than the two statues that are on pedestals that are next to it. So let's see, it says it's 85 inches by 67 inches. That's how big the frame is. Or the canvas is 71 by 56, and I think that would be 7 feet, about 7 feet. I'll get the thing. So this painting is monumental, and that means when you're standing at the foot of the painting, when you're literally about at her knee, like that's where my head is about at her knee. So you're looking up at her in this scene of sacrifice, and this like, I'm going to just say it. It's like Jerry Bruckheimer when he has that down angle looking up at the sky, at the hero, and the sky is behind them, and it kind of spins around, and it kind of has that same energy of hero sacrifice, sexuality, and then the pose is amazing, right? It's something that I'm always interested in. And the thing about this painting and the thing about the Artemisia Gentileschi painting is they're similar in that you have this amazing pose. You have this amazing uh, diametric pose where you have this elbow in the air, you have the knife that's kind of being wielded toward her breast, and you have her body kind of in this twisted moment of both like ecstasy and tragedy. The difference in the paintings, though, is the size. Like this one is seven-ish feet tall. Gentileschi is life size, or it's human scaled. So when you stand in front of that painting, it's only about like maybe, I don't know, 24 by 36. That's like that's a max. So you're literally standing at, and it's as wide as you are. So you are the experience is much more intimate. And intimate, her figure is a nude, but I don't know, something about hers is not sexual. Hers is more like the expression is more tragic and less ecstatic. So I think the thing about this is, as a painter who paints stories, I like to look at paintings that tell stories. And this is a good one. This is a good one because this is one of those stories that has multiple interpretations done by multiple artists over lots of time. So I don't know that I would want to paint this painting or do my own copy of this painting, but what I see that are things that I'm taking from the painting are like the position and the posing, gotta have that. The angle of, view, if you are looking at both of these paintings, you still get this heroic pose. And the heroic pose is the way to go with this whole thing. And then the other thing that I'm really thinking about is this, frankly, the luxury of the fabric. This painting, even though it has its kind of overt sexuality, it is luxurious. It is beautiful to look at. And I think you have to kind of own that. I think you have to let that be part of the experience in order to experience this piece of work. And another artist may paint things in a different way, and they're kind of all, it's kind of all great. Like I really became fascinated by this kind of secondary angel bed figure thing and her foot, and then the level of the attention to detail in the fabric was stunning, and it was resplendent. Look at that, it's beautiful. Look at that little red flower. So right now I'm going through my basket of goodies. I've got some stuff laid out on the table here. And what I'm doing is redoing this section up here. So I'm redoing this. Basically, I've started reaching for paint in different ways. So I've started, instead of just reaching for like a red, I'm reaching for a cool red or a warm red. So I want to do like my CAD, so this is CAD red, warm. And then I have a alizarin crimson. They're so alizarian crimson. So I have that's a cool. And I basically want to organize this in that way because that's how I'm reaching for paint now. And I just think that'll be more fun. I think that'll be more fun. I don't know if I'm going to do a big color chart. Maybe I'll do a color chart there and put that up on top. But I think that I need to do this because I don't know, I just feel like as I'm working through and as I'm looking at paint, I'm literally every time going, oh, I need a cool warm, I need a cooler warm, I need a cooler warm, I need a cooler pink. So then, and that's how I tend to buy paint. So I have like all these like rosebud, French Indian pale, vivid magenta. So like these are all, let me just put them up for you. So these are all pink, right? But they do different things to the painting. So that's how I'm reorganizing this little wall here. And I hope that what it'll give me is, because right now everything's just living in the basket. And while I love a go back basket, I also love it to be empty. So, but let me get into this and then I'll get back to you. Thanks for joining me on my adventures today. I especially appreciate you for staying toward the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like and do all the fun things. I will see you the next time. Bye.